Statistics that can shape disability policy. Highlights from the Disability Statistics Collection, funded by the Disability Statistics and Demographics Rehabilitation Research and Training Centers, StatsRRTC. Policymakers need disability statistics to determine whether or what new policy approaches are needed. Relevant statistics can be found through the Rehabilitation Research and Training Center on Disability Statistics and Demographics, or StatsRRTC. StatsRRTC supports decision-making through a variety of integrated research and outreach activities by improving knowledge about and access to existing statistics and the underlying data, generating the knowledge needed to improve future disability data collection, and strengthening connections between the users of disability statistics, data collection agencies, and decision makers. What the StatsRRTC Disability Statistics Collection can tell you. The disability prevalence in the United States. The number of Americans with a disability. For example, in 2021, 13.5% of all Americans, or 44,482,000, had a disability. The number of Americans with a disability that are employed, and about state-level population statistics.
Overall, the percentage of people with disabilities who are employed, either full-time or part-time, is nearly half that of people without disabilities. Although recent statistics have shown that the employment of people with disabilities has been reaching historic highs, 40.7% in 2021, which may be indicating the success of numerous efforts, both in the public and private sector, to improve the employment of people with disabilities.
Unfortunately, the same statistics collected between 2008 and 2021 suggest that the gap between the percentage of people with disabilities who were employed and those without typically hovered at 40%. While in 2021, there was a slight reduction in the employment gap between people with and without disabilities, statistics suggest more needs to be done to narrow the employment gap between people with and without disabilities. Earnings of people with disabilities have improved, but gaps have widened. The 2021 median earnings of full-time, full-year workers with disabilities was $45,314. This is a $6,319 earnings gap when compared to people without disabilities. Twice as many people with disabilities live in poverty. In 2021, 25.4% of people with disabilities were in poverty, compared to 11.8% of people without disabilities, accounting for a gap of 13.6%. Although poverty went down for both groups, the gap between people with and without disabilities still widened between 2010 and 2021. There are also rural disparities. There are over 3.1 million people with disabilities living in rural areas across the United States. These people are less likely to be employed than their counterparts with disabilities who live in urban areas. And people with disabilities in rural areas are more likely to live below the poverty line when compared to people with disabilities living in urban areas. There are racial inequities. As of 2021 in the United States, almost 3.5 million Black and African American adults aged 18 to 64 have a disability. While the disability prevalence in all races was reported at 10.5%, for Black African Americans it was 13.8%. Black and African American adults with disabilities are 22% less likely to have a job compared to all races. Further, they are 44% more likely to live in poverty than all races. About StatsRRTC. Led by the University of New Hampshire, the StatsRRTC is a collaboration of the American Association of People with Disabilities, AUCD, the Kessler Foundation, and Mathematica Policy Research. The Disability Statistics Collection provides a singular location to obtain and compare the most recent federal, state, and county level disability statistics. The collection includes the Annual Disability Statistics Compendium, the Annual Disability Statistics Supplement, state reports for county level data, and infographics that are publicly available. Policymakers can use the yearly and top expanding disability statistics to advocate for and write legislation, view trends over time, compare their constituencies to others, and inform stakeholders in their districts. Examples of how StatsRRTC statistics have informed disability policy. Disability statistics were used to create a formula for funding rural counties based on prevalence of disability, inform an audience of adult education and literacy field directors on the need for inclusive local programming, and advocate for funding in a testimony to a state legislature. While employment rates have grown for people with disabilities, there is still a wide disparity. Statistics play a key role in helping shape disability policy. StatsRRTC is a NIDILRR-funded center that is the go-to source for disability statistics. The StatsRRTC's annual report on people with disabilities in America are based on the American Community Survey, ACS. Having a disability is defined as a yes to one of these questions. Is this person deaf, or does he or she have serious difficulty hearing? Is this person blind, or does he or she have serious difficulty seeing even when wearing glasses? Because of a physical, mental, or emotional condition, does this person have serious difficulty concentrating, remembering, or making decisions? Does this person have serious difficulty walking or climbing stairs? Does this person have difficulty dressing or bathing? Because of a physical, mental, or emotional condition, does this person have difficulty doing errands alone, such as visiting a doctor's office or shopping?